Hey everyone, it's Shaz here. Today I'm going to talk about why a lot of people are not seeing progress in their AI agency or any agency that you're running, for example. Any business model this applies to, and it's something that I struggled with for years. I've been doing business for about 5 years. I'm just starting to make a lot of money. I'm going to make six figures, probably multiple six figures this year from my online AI agency. And I'm going to try to save you the time of struggle that I went through. All right. So why are you seeing a little progress with your agency, right? I feel like a lot of you probably feel like this. At least this is how I felt. Your knowledge. So let's just put knowledge, right? Excuse the handwriting. Your knowledge, you might think, is a, let's say, 7 out of 10, right? You know the skill that you're trying to sell very well. If it's AI chatbots, if it's AI callers, if it's AI, whatever the actual thing is, you know the thing very well. But on the flip sides, your actual results in your agency are probably at like a 2 or 3 out of 10. This should be 2 out of 10. All right. Why is there a discrepancy here? Why is there a 5 point discrepancy here in between what you know, like you actually know this much, and the results you're getting? Well, a lot of it has to come with business knowledge, outreach, marketing, offer, sales, the stuff that I cover on other parts of my channel. I have a bunch of raw videos just like this. You can check it out on my channel. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is the gap between where you are in terms of information and the action you take on that information. For example, let's just zoom in right here. There is a massive, massive discrepancy between what you know and the applied knowledge that the market sees from you. All right. Just because you know, let's say on the spectrum here of knowledge, right? Let's say you think you're at around here. A lot of people see you at around here. And again, this discrepancy, like this sort of gap right here, is why you're not seeing any results. All right. And it's because of action. All right. Now, and this is not going to be one of those just like, hey, take action videos, right? That is the overarching goal of this video. It's not going to be Andrew Tate style. It's going to be that you are almost overeducated. All right, you're almost overeducated to the point where you want to consume information but not take action on any of it. All right, and a lot of this has to do with platforms like this one, like YouTube. All right, for example, YouTube. Let's do a little play button here. You will watch 10 plus hours. All right, you'll watch. Let me zoom in here. You'll watch 10 plus hours of videos, right? So that's information. That's increasing this up here. That's increasing your perceived knowledge of the subject. But on the flip side, right, you watch all the information, you will take, so let's just say action, you will take 30 minutes of action. Right? And this discrepancy, again, is reflected in why you're not making any money. If you watch 10 hours of videos and you consume all of that information online from all of these big YouTubers, myself included, this applies for you watching me, and you take 30 minutes of action on that information, you will never achieve what you want to achieve. I'll just put it like that. You will never get to where you want to go. All right? Because if you've ever seen people in the marketplace who are like, oh my gosh, this guy is selling something so simple. I know more than this guy. I should be further ahead. It's natural to have that reaction. It's because those people are action takers. All right? What they're doing is this. They are watching 2 hours of videos and they're taking at least 90 minutes of action. All right, so on the graph of things, they are much, much further along, right? This is the action that they are taking. This is the information they're consuming. They're like up here, right? They're taking a lot of action per information. So they're watching information, they're taking a lot of action. You are down here watching a lot of information, but you're not taking any action. All right, you're right here. All right, and the goal is to be over here in this realm. This is you. This is the people that you think you're better at, but they're doing better than you. All right, that is the sole reason why a lot of people aren't where they want to be. You have an addiction to knowledge, is what I call it. You have an addiction to knowledge, and this addiction could come from a few little things that I'm going to break down right now. The one thing is just fear of doing the thing. So if you have to cold call, if you have to send cold email, if you have to hop on sales calls, and you have an inherent fear of one of those things, you're just not going to want to do it. So I'll list these out really quickly, right? Zoom in here. Reasons for inaction. One is just a general fear. Oops. You just generally have something you have to do. You know you have to do it, and you're scared of doing it, so you don't do it. And you consume information that gives you pleasure. All right, let me show you what this is like. If you actually know what you have to do, you're basically let me break it down. You're basically winning through other people. For example, if you go online and you watch these massive YouTubers that make videos just like this, like the Charlie Morgan type people that just break down videos, when you watch them, you think that you're getting further ahead. For example, again, let me go back to one of these diagrams because I find this is super, super helpful. When you watch information online, right, your perceived level of competence goes up. And that means you think in your brain associates that perceived level of information, your perceived knowledge on the subject, it associates that with progress. Right. So you think you're up here when you're watching all these YouTube videos, you think you're here. When in reality, you have not moved the ball at all because mental capacity has no impact on the physical outcome of your agency. It has no impact at all. So you actually are harming yourself by watching a lot of information on the internet. Now you have to watch some, right, to get ahead. You have to actually know the funnels and know the strategies and know the topics and know the offers and know what's going on in the market. Like, I'm not saying don't watch anything at all because then you'll also be behind. You'll be over here. But if you watch so much, you're tricking your brain into saying, hey, you're doing well today. You watch 5 YouTube videos, you're getting ahead, you're doing it when you actually haven't moved, right? So your perception, your perception of yourself keeps going up, but the reality of the situation, you are standing still. You are not moving, all right? That is why your brain associates. That's why you think you're getting ahead when you're not, all right? And that's why you probably every month or every few weeks, you're like, why am I not getting any money? Why am I not signing any clients? Because you're actually not doing anything. You're just tricking yourself into thinking you are. Right? Because you're watching these videos and mental masturbation is what they call it. All right. So one is fear of action. That's reason for inaction is you're actually just sort of scared of doing the thing. 2 is fear of success. I'm like, what the hell? Fear of success? I'm not afraid of being successful. Well, fear of success is a massive thing, and I think a lot of you guys have it, especially the people with huge goals. Fear of success basically is like, all right, once I sign my first client, I'm going to have to solve this unknown problem right here. And I've never gotten to this thing. And I know it's going to be hard, right? This could be fulfillment. This could be retainer. This could be actually getting the person results. That's a massive one. People are so scared of actually signing clients because they don't know how to get results. So that stops them from signing clients. And that's why you're not doing anything, right? So when you do this stuff, fear of action or success, is basically like, hey, when I sign a client, I'm going to have to do this next step. And this next step terrifies me. It scares the shit out of me. I have no idea how to do this next step. And I know after I find out this next step, I'll have to do another next step and another one and another one and another one. 6, 7. This is a 5 and this is a 4, right? And all of these are things you've never done before, and it scares the shit out of you. You don't know what you're doing, right? So if all of this stuff is scary to you, then you will never want to accomplish this first thing of signing a client because you don't want to do the rest of the work, right? So you have fear of success. It's literally fear of, like, you don't want to succeed in your mind because you know you have to do a lot of work after that. And the cure to that is basically saying, like, signing a client is one thing and doing the rest of the work is another thing, but every single person has gone through the same journey. I remember when I signed my first client, I had no idea what I was doing. Literally no idea. Like, I remember I was sweating on the call. I was like, yay, thank you for the $200 for the money, for the client. Now I don't know what to do. Right now I was freaking out, but you have to figure that out. Like, you have to figure that out. There's no way around it, right? And again, I want to give you actual tactics and not just motivation. So one thing is, like, you have to figure it out. Another thing is realize how far you have come. So when you got that first client, even step number 1 here, when you signed that first client, this previous action was something that you've never done before. So SC, you signed a first client. Before, you were at step 0, right? Which is just like pretty much just starting. You were at step 0, and number 1 wasn't sign a client. It was XXX, right? Remember how I showed you step 2 was XXX? This step was something that was foreign to you before, but you figured it out. So the same thing will happen for step 2. It might be scary right now, but then over time, you'll realize this is just like fulfillment. Like actual client fulfillment, not like being fulfilled as a person. And then the next step might be scary. Then you'll realize it's just team building. And you go on and on and on. All right. So the step that you first uncovered, like the step that you're on right now, was previously foreign to you. And the fact that you've discovered what to do and you did it is a great sign. You could do that for all the rest of the steps. Guys, like, we're doing multiple 5 figures a month now, anywhere from 10 to 25K, right? Depending on lead flow and some stuff and how much we actually like hire and spend our time on different things. Next steps terrify me. Like, they terrify me. Like, it's hard. Like, I don't want to run paid ads. I don't want to start doing all these things. I don't want to hire people that cost thousands of dollars every single month. But I realized that the way I've gotten here is by conquering the unknown. And that's the only way to do it. All right. So that's how you eliminate fear of success, is you just realize that how far you've come and that this is just another step. Like, this is nothing new. Everyone's done it, and it's not going to be as hard as you previously thought. Fear of action is just like saying, hey, You actually have to do the thing. All the previous information I talked about on fear of action, that's how you overcome it. Now, the third one I want to mention, just off the top of my head, of why people aren't getting where they want to go is sort of what I talked about earlier, is brain does not know success. Again, you're like, what are you talking about? I just want to really get this one home because I have a background in biology and I'm not the most, studious person. I don't know the most about biology. I'm sure you could find out more from ChatGPT. But what I will tell you is your brain does not know what's real from what's not real. For example, if you watch a movie, your brain will associate a lot of those things that happen in the movie to being real, even though you know that it's a movie and it doesn't happen. Now, there's some weird stuff going on, and I can't fully explain it. I'm not going to lie to you and say I can, but the same thing happens when you're watching the Charlie Morgans. When you see him hit, $1 million in a month, at some level of your body, subconsciously, you think you've accomplished something from watching this guy get to this amount of money. Or when you watch one of my videos or one of the other people in the space, you're sort of hijacking their success and somewhat think it's your own because you're learning from these people when you're really not learning, because the only way you learn is to learn the thing, do the action, fail, learn, do the action, fail. Like that's the only way, right? And you're missing this crucial step, which is action, right? You're learning all this stuff. Like you are beyond knowledgeable on the subject you want to sell. You're just not taking any action, getting any feedback and learning from that feedback. That is the loop. That is what creates value. That's what creates money. That's what creates new strategies, right? That's the only way to get to that new stage of, business, right? That's where real information comes from. Because all essentially we're doing as YouTubers and people that post stuff as online is we're taking massive action behind the scenes. Like this is my workflow. This is exactly what I do. I take massive action behind the scenes. Massive action. I fail miserably. I learn and I share that on YouTube. All right. And then you sort of see this whole process and you're like, oh, I learned all this stuff. Yeah, well, I did all the work. I actually know it. You're just tailing off of what I know. All right. There's a big difference there. Yes, you'll be further ahead. And that's why I create these videos, because when I share these things on YouTube, you could basically learn from some of these mistakes, right? So you could still take massive action. You could still take this, but you could just avoid some of the massive action that leads to failure. So you could sort of go over this hump here, but you might run into another problem, right? But you don't know if you're running into another problem if you never take massive action. All right, now hopefully this stuff is computing with you, and I'll leave it at 3 lessons before this video gets too long. I think we're at around 12 minutes here. But the only way to really get ahead is conquer these things, all right? Fear of action, you have to conquer. Fear of success, definitely have to conquer that one. That one's huge. And then just realize that your brain does not know what's successful and what's not, right? So if you see videos, sometimes you might think subconsciously that you're making progress, even though you're literally not moving the ball at all right? So the more action you take, the more you can bridge this gap, right? Because again, a lot of you guys have the knowledge. You guys are super smart. You're just not getting any results. And this gap, right? When you have the knowledge and you're not getting results, probably the most frustrating thing. And I'm pretty sure this is the reason most people quit. This gap here, it's like the death gap, right? It's why most people quit. They quit right here because they have knowledge, not getting results. It's like, well, the business model doesn't work, or the niche doesn't work, or the person on YouTube, they were lying. Well, no, they didn't lie. They just told you what to do and you didn't do it, so you didn't see results. All right. So that's sort of where I'm at. I wanted to make this video because I talked to a lot of agency owners and they're not seeing any progress when they're super smart. Some of the people know more than I do and they're not seeing success. It's because one is a time thing. I've been in the game for a long time, so I understand that. But two, a lot of people are capable of seeing results and they're not seeing results. It's because they're not taking action. And these few things are what I see hold people back. Also from my personal experience, I've had fear of action before, I conquered it. I've had fear of success before, conquered it. And, I've sort of realized over time that, my brain doesn't really know what's going on. I have to take the action. I have to get those actual results, not just watch other people take action through YouTube and through social media, because it's very easy to sit there and scroll and think like you're getting ahead when you're really not. All right. The best way to learn is to actually do it and then learn. All right. So that is sort of my video on why you're seeing a little progress in your AI agency. I think that people don't need more information, they need action. So we have an AI agency launchpad down below. I think there's a few spots left on this month. This is not for everyone. Everyone not qualified, but everything is down below. It's just a Google Doc. There's no email required. Pricing's on there, timelines on there, guarantees on there. So you can look at all that stuff. If you need help scaling your AI agency, the Launchpad is a very good way to go, and it's super one-on-one with me. But that's all I have. If you like videos just like this, you can check out my channel for other raw videos on scaling your AI agency, how it is to run a 6-figure business online at 22, and just other things along the journey of getting to 7 figures. So I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been real. Peace.